The Toyota HiLux has been one of Australia's most popular cars for decades. It's sold over 1.4 million units since it first went on sale here in 1968. But despite the fact that the current generation is pretty long in the tooth, it's still one of our best sellers. But the 9th generation has now arrived in Australia, featuring a more digital design, up-to-date technology, but also plenty of analogue features that should see Toyota HiLux buyers coming back for more. We've driven it on-road and off-road, so let's take a look at some of the details and find out exactly what we think. The 2026 HiLux range is broader and more versatile than ever, with a price range to match. The lineup starts with a value-focused Workmate single-cab chassis 4x2 manual at $33,990 and stretches all the way to the flagship Rogue and Rugged X double-cab pickup 4x4 autos, both priced at $71,990 before on-road costs. In between, you'll find the well-equipped SR, the comfort-oriented SR5, and a variety of body styles. All models are now powered by Toyota's proven 2.8-litre turbo diesel 4-cylinder engine, with V-Active 48-volt mild hybrid technology available on select double-cab automatics for smoother stop-start and improved efficiency. For the first time ever, the HiLux's exterior was led by Toyota Design Australia. The Cyber Sumo theme gives the HiLux a powerful stance. There's a high-set slimline LED front light. There's bold Toyota grille lettering, pumped arches, and angular bumpers. Top-spec Rogue and Rugged X gain matte black 18-inch alloys and unique bars and bumpers, while Workmate keeps functional steel wheels and a body-coloured grille. Now, the cabin has taken a decent step forward for the HiLux. We've got this large 12.3-inch screen, which is standard across the range. And then the SR5, Rogue and Rugged X also get a 12.3-inch screen for driver information display, which can be configured. It definitely looks hard-wearing, just as you would expect from a HiLux, but it doesn't have the pizzazz or instant appeal that perhaps the Kia Tasman has got. But it has got a lot of physical buttons. Controls down here for things like the diff lock, which is standard across the mid to top range vehicles, and then we've also got heating controls, which are really easy to use. And while that might seem like something which is dead straightforward, increasing number of cars don't have those really easy to use physical buttons. Higher grades add heated front seats and steering wheel, a cooled upper glove box, and a JBL 9-speaker premium audio system. Rogue goes further with marine carpet bedliner and an electric roller cover in the tub. And this SR5 model, well, it's one of the ones that's likely to appeal to people that are moving their family around. So let's go and have a look at the back seat. As you can see, I've got a good amount of room. The seat is quite upright and it doesn't seem to have the recline that some of the other utes that we've test driven recently have got, but it still feels like it would be reasonably comfortable for a journey. I have got aircon vents in this SR5 model. They're not included on vehicles like the Workmate, so that's probably something you want to think about if you're regularly moving passengers in the second row. There's a couple of USB chargers here that, in terms of storage, I've got a cup holder and a decent space here for my gear, as well as nice little feature here, which is a handy hook for hanging gear. So all in all, pretty spacious area, but yeah, probably remains to be seen what it would be like on a really long road trip. As always, the HiLux's promise is all in its capability. That 2.8-litre turbo diesel delivers 150 kilowatts and up to 500 newton meters in the automatic, although it is less in the manual. There's 2 rear suspension tunes, heavy duty for Workmate and SR to deliver maximum payload, and a new comfort-oriented tune for SR5 and above, which translates to a noticeably improved ride. Behind the wheel, and the feel is pretty good. The ergonomics have changed, so this centre console now sits a bit higher, and there's definitely an improvement in seat comfort, although if you choose the Workmate, I have to say the experience in the seats was not so great. There's extra bolstering from the SR upwards. In terms of engine options now, you've just got the one, so it's the 2.8-litre turbo diesel featured across the range. You can choose it with the hybrid in the automatics, or if you opt to the manual, and there's a couple of manuals available across the range, then you're not getting that hybrid system, you're just getting the turbo diesel engine. And I have to say, it's a nice progressive unit, so it doesn't need too much encouragement to keep good progression. In terms of the ride, well, there's been some fairly significant improvements to the chassis to stiffen it, and that helps to deliver a more composed ride. Those engineering changes have made the ride more compliant. I think that the HiLux is a much more accessible car to drive, feels less agricultural than perhaps the HiLuxes that I've driven in the past, and that's going to appeal to people that want kind of that nicer feel that you might reasonably expect in something like the Ford Ranger, which does have a lovely compliant ride. One of the best introductions by far is the introduction of the electric power steering. It gives it a really nice feel. It's nice and light, which makes manoeuvring a lot easier, so it's not like you're driving a big truck. It's slightly narrower than the new wave of utes that are coming in, and I think that that's actually part of its appeal. It doesn't need to be a big, bulky unit. Overall, I think it's a good drive. Is it as good as the Ford Ranger? Is it as good as the Kia Tasman in terms of comfort? I'd have to say probably not, but in terms of its kind of rugged appeal and is it going to do exactly what I want it to do when I want to do it, then the HiLux delivers in spades. I feel very confident in this car as a ute that can tackle pretty much anything. Off-road, HiLux retains serious credentials with part-time four-wheel drive, rear-locking diff, and multi-terrain select and downhill assist on higher grades. Brake towing capacity across the range remains at 3,500 kilos. Safety's been comprehensively upgraded too. The latest Toyota Safety Sense brings enhanced AEB with pedestrian, cyclist and motorcycle detection. There's improved active cruise control with curve speed reduction, as well as a host of features including blind spot monitoring and rear cross traffic alert. A reverse camera is now standard across the range. SR5 and above add features like emergency driving stop system and the multi-terrain monitor. Layered into the safety story is Toyota Connected Services, which is standard across the new HiLux. So what's the verdict? Has Toyota brought us a HiLux, which is going to keep it at the top of the charts? Has it done enough to topple the Ford Ranger? I reckon on first sampling that Toyota's done a really great job. Their work with the fleets, which has helped to spec the entry-level model cars, has really helped to deliver a car which is composed and delivers everything that you need in terms of payload and towing capacity. And of course, there's a nice array of options, including some manuals. We've got the heavy-duty suspension that's needed for tradies and for worksite use, but we've also got this more comfortable setting, which, as we've experienced on the drive, does deliver a HiLux which is a little bit more refined. Is the suspension as compliant as the Ford Ranger? I reckon you'd want to do a side-by-side comparison to really weigh up how they ride. But on first sampling of this HiLux on road, I have to say that in this comfort mode with the suspension changes, it is a nice compliant ride. And that's one of the things that private buyers looking for a ute that needs to do all of the things for them and their family are going to be looking for. It's got to be good to drive. But off-road, well, we found it pretty impressive too. It definitely tackled some pretty gnarly stuff with ease. So on our first sampling, I have to say the Toyota HiLux probably does have enough to take on the Ford Ranger, and it's definitely going to be a battle to watch next year in the sales chart.